Bubba. Let me drink my water. Hello. Hello. Okay.
That's you.
All right, very good. My goodness. All right, so this is already working. Autumn, Lovely, Angelica, Samantha, Empathic, Nicole, Spiritual Teachers tomorrow, Ashley, the Terran Experience, Miranda Reed. Okay, welcome everybody. I want to give this a second for a few people to tune in before we go ahead and get started. You guys can start posting your questions, though. These questions can pertain to anything. Nothing is out of bounds. So, psychic, mediumistic, empathic, about spiritual development, paranormal stuff, your love life, finances. If you're thinking of moving, anything is fine. If you are asking about a deceased loved one or a pet, I do want you to include a name. Paul, my producer, how are you, Pauly?
Great, thanks. How are you?
Good. Paul will be taking your questions, and he will be choosing the ones where names are included. All right. So feel free to start posting. I do want to make a couple quick announcements before we go ahead and get started. So we have numerology class starting up. We have tarot class starting up. We also have the psychic mediumship course for the winter semester. So you can go to ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com to get yourself registered. Now, if you guys want to take the psychic mediumship course, but you're not sure yet how it's going to work into your schedule, go to psychicmediumshipcourse.com. Get on the early bird wait list for that to at least reserve your seat. We also have the grand opening for the Victorian Funeral Home, the headquarters for the Ivy League Psychic Academy, happening on October 24th. And part of our grand opening is a free, first ever, 100% free psychic mediumship class from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Now, you guys can join us through Zoom or here in person in Dunkirk, New York. You are going to want to get registered for that fest. Okay, seats are, nearly gone for sure. I think they go to my website for that, don't they? So go to ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com to register for the free class on October 24th, and also to book a reading or an event with me. I also do virtual parties. I have been for years. A lot of people didn't know that, but during COVID, it was exclusively virtual. And if you want to also host your own psychic fair for your business, a public event for your family, whatever, you can also go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com to get that booked. All right. If we are good, do I have good volume? I have audio working. All right. Very good. So, all right. So welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwhack, and I own a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally in everything ranging from psychic mediumship development to numerology, astrology, tarot, Reiki, meditation, paranormal, empathic classes. We train children as well as adults. So we hope to see you there for classes. I have in the playlist here a list of mini classes I've been putting out since the pandemic hit. It's called the Quarantine Series. So check out a bunch of free classes there as well. What you've caught here today is my weekly Ask Ivy show, where I take your personal questions and I deliver messages out from spirit. Donations are appreciated. And if you want to hit that join button to become a member, you can get behind the scenes extras, extra curriculum, direct spirit messages, your monthly horoscopes. And this month I start doing for the top tier members an exclusive behind the scenes Ask Ivy show once a month for you guys. I want to ask everybody to give this video a thumbs up and please do subscribe. All right. Paul, what do we have? Who do we want to start with?
Let us start with Christina.
Christina?
I feel like I'm developing skill in tarot. Do you see me continuing this?
I think so. And I don't really think it's the tarot that you're developing skill with. These were your innate psychic abilities. You're very clairvoyant. You have a couple other abilities I don't even think you're fully aware of yet. Clairsentience, clairaugustine. Clairsentience is the ability to feel things in your body that belong to other people or spirits or an atmosphere or an object. You could also taste phantom flavors and smell phantom odors. That's clairaugustine. I think you're going to be finding that the more you work with tarot, it's an outlet for these abilities that you already had to kind of come to fruition, come to the forefront, and to be recognized. So your third eye is opening, but the other thing that's happening for you is your crown chakra is opening. And so as your crown is opening, you're going to be channeling more. So we're talking about, energy from atmospheres and spirit for sure. I think this is something you should stick with, but be prepared to evolve into something more.
Okay. This one is from Samantha.
Samantha?
Can you please give me any messages from my money guides?
Okay, so your work and money guide. I just feel like this is an important time for you to really figure out what you want to be doing. So your guide is talking about putting money away. I'm under the impression that you just had money put away and lost it all or had to spend. It's almost like dipping in. So even if you feel like you're starting over in some ways, it's really important that you focus not on the money itself. You focus on the work itself. And so that's what your guide is asking you. What are you supposed to be doing right now? And don't forget that when you're doing the work you signed on to do in your life contract, you have a certain level of passionate involvement in that. And the universe is supporting that. That's where you're going to really start kind of hitting the money, okay, and hitting the right notes. And I think that that's going to involve you letting go of some of the ideas that you've had about what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Get out of that sort of humdrum day-to-day, traditional kind of work and allow yourself to get your hands dirty with creativity and working with others more.
Okay. This one is from Kalika.
Kalika.
Will me and Sebastian be in a romantic relationship?
I'm not feeling this a ton. It feels like over the course of the next possibly 2 weeks to 2 months. And then again, it comes up at 4 months out from now. There could be some interaction that could be considered romantic between the two of you. I feel this being rather short-lived, and it could be due to his inconsistency, him not knowing what he really wants. So you could find yourself getting in it and then needing to get out of it again rather quickly. I think it's important for you to keep your cards close to your vest and that it's okay to get involved in this, but don't completely give your heart over and don't necessarily expect it to last even if it does happen. Okay.
Okay. This one is from Tina.
Tina.
Do my cats, Lily and Dash, who ran away 3 years ago, have anything to tell me? I see them in my dreams a lot.
I feel like it's mostly just supportive. Dash is a little bit more, I want to say, invested in your healing. And Lily seems to just be, I don't know, like in a world of her own, she is caught up in whatever she's doing, a little ornamental, but definitely still there supporting you and trying to be around to renew your energy level. I feel though with Dash, there's a little bit more of a connection here where you may hear more from him when you're going through difficult times. And so that work bond is definitely there.
Okay, this one is from Glossy Scorpio.
Okay, Glossy Scorpio.
Will my IUI this month be successful?
Okay. Will your IUI this month be successful? I think so. I feel some butterflies, in the stomach. I feel like, this is exciting and positive energy. I think it's going to be important to keep your keep your eyes set on what you want to have happen. So there's no room right now for like negativity. There's no room for thinking about, what if this doesn't work out. Pretty much your ability to trigger law of attraction at this point is a big player in the way that this turns out. I also feel a different skill set from the doctors involved. Okay, so there is something different going on with this for sure. I feel positive about it. Yes.
Okay, this is from Kayla.
Kayla?
I know this sounds dumb, but did I know Frank and Dean in my past life? I swear they feel like real dear friends. I cry because it feels like I miss them so much.
Well, that's not dumb. That's a great question. Just because other people in society who are lame won't understand it doesn't make your question dumb. Relationships are important. They are significant and they should be sort of studied, so that we better understand our roots with other people. And I love that you're honoring your relationships in your life. You definitely have past life history with Dean. I feel that you and, Frank were put on each other's paths to help almost like soul tribe members. Sometimes we have soul tribe members and we will continuously come back together again in patterns. God bless you. There could even be bouts of time where you're not connected to this person. And then all of a sudden, when you need them again, they show up. I am feeling that with him. As far as Dean is concerned, you have past life history. And there is some soulmate connection here, which is about a working contract. And so this would be one where you're really able to help each other through difficult times, strengthen the other person. You may also only be comfortable talking to each other. So there are things that maybe he wouldn't say to somebody else or anybody else, but it's comfortable doing that with you. And so this also has to do, with the growth again. And yes, I think absolutely. There's history there with him, and there is a soul tribe connection with Frank.
Okay. This next one is from Dora.
Dora?
When do you see me having another baby?
You have a few options on having another baby within the next 2 years. You could do this. You could do this now or within the next 4 to 8 months. You could do this again at the 5-year mark out from now. So it's really up to you when you choose to bring this child through. The one who is up in line next is not moving. So even though you have a couple other kids who are tentative, meaning they have contracts, so they all have contracts, or the last two are looking at contracts with you. This one has a contract. This one has had a contract. This one is not backing out of the timeline on this contract. So knowing that, all you really have to do is decide when, and you want to always abide by the child's timeline because we have no control over these things. No matter what we do, we have no control over it. So look at the time frames that I talked about, and yeah, I think it'll work out.
Okay, I just want to pause quickly here to thank everyone for their donations.
Thank you.
So great to see you. And thank you so much. It means a ton. There's Alex, Tamara, Kayla, Lola, Moose Burns.
Moose Burns.
Side note, that's I think one of my favorite names here.
Good old Moose Burns. I know. Whenever I see it, I get happier. Awesome. Yeah, thanks guys for the donations.
So speaking of, let's go to Moose Burns.
Okay.
Lost in love in general. Will this change anytime soon?
All right, Moose Burns. Lost in love in general. Will it change soon? I feel this I feel this heaviness in your stomach, and I would normally say, well, that's stress stomach, but it kind of feels like depression or sadness more than stress. We don't want to leave it there regardless. And the stomach never lies. It tells how your heart's doing. The stomach tells how your mental health is doing or your spiritual health is doing. So if you've been having any kind of, stomach issues too, you may want to look at cleaning up the energy in regards to your heart and anything that hasn't worked out. I have a class up on my website called Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting. And you can use it on anything. But if I were you, I would use it to release any disappointment that has happened in the past. I also think that this is a great time for you to really build yourself up, your self-esteem, your guides, in particular, your joy guide and your relationship guide. They are talking about how fantastic you are and how sometimes you overlook that. You have a tendency to feel like you maybe need to lower your standards, or if you feel with someone's energy in dating that it's off a little bit, you still keep putting yourself out there. You don't pull back. You're not cutthroat enough. So I think that cleaning up these two areas is going to change the outlook in the future. And I feel someone coming in, I smell oranges with this person, which is symbolic of them bringing cleansing, uplifting energy. And so this individual is a very old soul and is looking for adventure, and for you to be more free will definitely help this thing to move along. I think this is an exciting time for you. Okay. It doesn't feel that way today, but it is an exciting time.
Okay, this is from Tamara. Tamara. I just started a business, Earth's Loving Intentions, and I've written a book. Do you see these going good?
Earth's Loving Intentions.
Yeah.
Earth's Loving Intentions. And the book. I feel the book having a little bit of a burst of energy and then kind of becoming quiet again. That doesn't mean that you can't write another book. It feels like there's some kind of a sequel to this. And it may have to do with people learning to better heal themselves. So, yes. But I think that things have to keep moving for you. You can't expect long-term prosperity off of any of this, or we would say like growth, abundance, from the growth, unless it's changing all the time. And so as long as you're on top of things and you understand things too, like where the collective consciousness is, you'll be able to adapt to that and provide people with what they need. So it's a ever moving target, but yes, I think so.
Okay. This one is from Pauly. Will I marry John in the future?
I was going to ask if that was you. I guess not. All right. I thought you were sneaking one in here. Pauly wants to know if he'll marry John. Pauly's a woman. Okay. Will Pauly marry John? I feel like this is a little bit of a shut door. And there's talk of 3 years, and there's talk of at that 3-year mark in the relationship, a wall going up. It's worse than a door. It's a wall. Why is that wall there? That is something that John has up, and it doesn't really allow anyone in. And so even if there is a closed door, it would be because of this wall. And I think that it is possible that this might happen, but it feels difficult. It's like pulling teeth. I just think there should be more ease with a situation like this. And I think it would be great to ask if he has issues where he is unavailable, emotionally unavailable to himself, to you, to others, if he doesn't know himself very well, if he's not growing and developing and healing and dealing with shadow work and taking care of his stuff. Is that a train you want to get on? So I think there are some things to look at here. Is it possible? It's possible, but it feels twisted. It feels like forced if it's possible. Okay. Or that's how it would happen if it does. Okay.
Okay. Excuse me. This is from Alex.
Alex?
Yeah. I would like to know if Ryan, who has passed away last March, if he has any messages for me.
Ryan has a lot of energy, comes in sort of running, like almost like jogging, and then slows down and stops next to you. And I almost get this vision of like, you know, you on the side of the road, he almost ran right past you. And then he's like, is that you? Is that you? So he's funny, for sure. He has a way of popping in and out, obviously, of your life. And to make sure, he said, right now, right now, if I were to say one thing to you, it would be shh. Okay, shh. And he puts like his finger on your mouth like shh. And ironically, speak your truth. So maybe it's time to stop talking about things that don't really mean a lot to you, to silence yourself more, be more detached, be more observant, and understand the power of your words and speak your truth. If there's been a situation too where you were feeling as though you spoke your truth, but you were disregarded, disrespected, ignored, it's time to go back at that again. He said he's trying to help you to stay strong and uplift you through what feels like a little bit of a difficult time right now. And this may have been going on for approximately 4 months, but I feel like I feel like it's going to be changing soon. Circumstances are going to be let loose and changing, and some truths may also be revealed. Okay, so he's like, you know, you're smart. Pay attention to everything. Watch everything. Truths are coming out. And he might be sending you the number 7. Okay, the symbol for truth. Yeah, it's a cleansing time in your life also. All right, he's standing in the rain with you, letting the water cleanse away things that no longer serve you.
All right. This is from Paula.
Paula?
I've had my psychic powers last year, but somehow closed my eye from getting spooked in a dream. Any advice on how I can get it back?
Well, you know, we have these disturbing dreams, and then we can develop something called blocked dreaming where you can't remember them anymore. The reality is you're still dreaming. You just don't remember them anymore. So check out a class I have up on my website called Dreams, where I teach you how to unblock. It's a long process. We'll have to go through a whole thing. So I would do that. I also think that with the psychic ability, the clairvoyance, the third eye, you don't necessarily want to think of it as good or bad. I always tell my students at the first day of class that just because you are very psychic does not make you a light worker. And we have to use discernment with our psychic ability more so than any other ability. So you want to stop seeing things as you know, like connected to your dreams, or that you're sort of at the whim, you know, you're a victim to it all. You want to remember, you have discernment. You choose what you're going to feed and what messages you're going to deliver out to others, always coming from the highest and best. So it's time for some training. I hope to see you at the Psychic Mediumship course to learn about discernment, something most people don't bother ever to teach on because they don't understand it. There is a huge difference. And also remember that when you see disturbing things about disease, terrible accidents, or when someone's going to die, it's called messenger of death syndrome. It's natural. It's normal. It's something a small portion of psychics have, and it can be used for the greater good. We just have to use more discernment with it.
Okay. This one is from Cool Beans.
Cool Beans.
Can you tell me who is constantly brushing my skin / touching me, and why?
It feels like you have... I saw a gentleman in your house, and then I saw what felt to me like elementals in your house. So you have a few different things going on. I think it's become a tactic to get your attention. I don't think it's any one particular spirit. And it's not a problem per se. I think that touching is a bit inappropriate. I don't allow it for sure. But if you're okay with it and it's not pulling hair, bruising you, hurting you, scratching you in any way, you're going to want to ask them why they're doing it. I wouldn't expect to get a ton of reaction because, again, when it's this type of energy, it is kind of inappropriate. It doesn't need to be happening. The whole point of them getting your attention is just to get your attention. I don't think you're going to have a ton of messaging there. But, we try to live in community and harmony with the spirit world as much as we possibly can without having to clear them out. And if you feel you don't like it, then clear them out. Okay.
All right. So this is from Hunter.
Hunter?
Any tips on sites for tracing my Puerto Rican heritage to see if I am a native?
So Puerto Rican heritage, something like 63% of us are native. We are indigenous. So what I would recommend you do is get the DNA test and see what percentage is coming up as Spanish. And then, what percentage is coming up as like Puerto Rican and indigenous, things like this. That will help you a lot to narrow down what you have going on. I think that there are a lot of easier ways to, trace it. If you're not able to do that, you could look back at your family name. For example, what is it? Ayuya is a place where the most indigenous people were. My grandparents are from that spot, the mountains too around that area. This is where the natives, still live. And so if you can trace your family name, or if you can trace what parts of Puerto Rico your family were from, some spots hit a lot more native than others, and you can almost guarantee it's in the blood. I would say that the other way I knew that I was from the family stories. My grandfather would tell stories. Have you heard stories about them being native, living with the natives? My grandmother was a slave, and so there are stories about grandma being a wild woman, grandma being kidnapped, grandma being in the lineup from the Spanish, things like this. And also pay attention because the ancestors never stop. That has helped me to develop my entire teaching. My entire school is based on what my ancestors showed me. I would have no real idea where that was coming from, or that was Taino Arawak, until I was like, okay, they show me this. They give me this in a dream. They tell me to do it this way, and it all lines up. So there are other ways to test it out. And just see what feels right. If it's feeling right, it probably is, and then you take it from there. I found it validating, though, to look at that DNA test and see how much Spanish was in there and how much Puerto Rican was in there. Okay. All right. Very good. So we are at time. I will see you guys next week. No, aren't we off next week?
Are.
All right. So I am off for the next couple weeks, actually, but I hope to see you guys registered for tarot, numerology, psychic mediumship course, and for the free psychic mediumship class on October 24th through Zoom or in person. Check it out, you guys. Go to IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Spirit.